Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Fan Art. In this episode, we're going to be looking at more fan-made Pokemon from Dark Sylvania on DeviantArt. As usual, the link for that is in the description. I'm going to have one more episode of this afterwards, and then I'm going to move on to another fan decks and stuff. So yeah, I guess we can start. So first up, today we have Scarikid. It's a bug type, and is the beetle Pokemon. It evolves into a Heracross at level 15 if you're in a forest area, or if you level up to level 15 in a grassy area, it evolves into a Pinsir. So you know, it's good, because they are very similar. So, and the description for this Pokemon says, this little Pokemon can be found wherever leaves and grass we can hide in, so it's very common finding them in woods or the meadows of tall grass. Nevertheless, being the same species of Pokemon, those who live in the forest and those who live in the tall grass develop several differences as they grow, even evolving into two totally different Pokemon. Scientists believe their environment influences its evolution, but they haven't found out why. So, I think it's a very good idea, you know, because Heracross and Pinsir are very similar. You know, some people saying, you know, Pinsir or to Heracross or vice versa. I'm not sure what they say really, but you know, people think they should be related somehow. I definitely like the design for Scarikid. It looks like it's based on a scarab, obviously, since both Heracross and Pinsir have some sort of similarities with them. So obviously it makes it, you know, plausible for this Pokemon to evolve into either Heracross or Pinsir, as you can easily see the similarities there. Next up we have Gigatlas. Now Gigatlas is the evolution of Pinsir, as you may be able to tell, and it's the Bug Steel type. It's Bug Steel type. It's the giant beetle Pokemon. Evolves from Pinsir with maximum toughness, addition to be defense, something like that. So once you got all the defense EVs, let's say. So a living stronghold, this Pokemon is able to take almost any attack and get impervious. His massive strength is only equivalent to his resistance, being one of the toughest Pokemon to battle. His main fighting strategy is taking all the attacks of his opponent until he gets tired, and then crushing it with its tiny, deadly triple Pinsir grip, strong enough to even grind a small car into scrap. Which is nasty. Right. So I like the design for this completely. I like the fact that it's got some more staghorn sort of things on his head, so it can use them a bit better. And you know, the design for the face as well, with the kind of the teeth are sort of like welded over now. And obviously it's obvious why it's a steel type, especially with the headband sort of thing. The claws and the feet are already quite strong and steely. Yeah. Overall, I'd like to see all these evolutions again, you know, that I've mentioned in today's episode. So yeah. And now we have Gynocules, I guess that's how you say it, or Gynocules. Gynocules, that's it, okay. It's a bug fighting type, and it's the giant beetle Pokemon also, and evolves from Heracross with maximum toughness, so I'd say this time it'd be maximum attack EV, since, you know, it's more of a offensive Pokemon with a fighting type. Description for this reads, covered with rock hard armor, this huge and powerful beetle Pokemon is the strongest bug Pokemon in the world. Using his long horns, this Pokemon is able to lift up to over 10 Heracross over his head, or hurl up Pokemon as big as a mammoth swine. Nevertheless, despite his outstanding strength, this Pokemon is very docile and fights only when it is attacked first. So obviously, evolution of Heracross here. Again, the design looks amazing. The wings on the back as well look pretty good. You know, you can imagine that flying around probably, or just, you know, just using them as a kind of defensive maneuver. I don't know. But yeah, I like the design overall. Especially the horns, you know, the bottom horn is sort of like having the upper horn rest on it and stuff like that. So I think it looks very good, like both of the ones we've seen already today. Yeah, as I mentioned, I'd like to see all these in game just simply because they're awesome, and, you know, build on Heracross and Pinsir a bit because they are related. You know, I'd like to see some sort of relation for that. And now moving on to another trio of fan-made evolution Pokemon things, starting off with Chrysol. Now, as you may be able to tell from the design, it's a pre-evolution of Absol. Chrysol is a dark type and the Convergence Pokemon, and evolves into Absol when a Moonstone is used. The description reads, in his body both dark and light energies converge, attracted by his unique aura, capable of sustaining the merging of its opposite forces without any dangerous consequences, although in some points the resulting energy of the fusion has shown up to give him some kind of premonitory abilities. I like the design for Chrysol definitely here. It looks similar to an Absol, but yet different enough to you know, qualify as pre-evolution. I just like it in general. I think we should build on Absol a bit more as well, just simply because it's on its own. A load of people want to see an evolution for it, but why not a pre-evolution as well? Just to make it into a, you know, a triple line, which I think would be very cool. Next up we have Archosaur. Archosaur is a light type. Obviously we don't have a light type in the game. We might have a fairy type there, who knows, or a psychic type, let's say. And Archosaur is a light type, as I've said. I don't know why I said that again. And it's the peace Pokemon, and evolves from Absol with maximum happiness. Now this Pokemon evolved when the lonely soul of Absol was touched by the spirit of a kind-hearted person. Now with renewed hope on mankind, it looks for their sake and protection. It searches for disasters and catastrophes, and its only presence, thanks to the powerful light energy that stems from it, is enough to stop even the biggest chaos and brings harmony back. And like Christ already, the design is just great. The wings look like an angel. Its kind of ear has kind of like gone into a wing thing. I don't even actually know how to describe that. But overall I do like it. It's got little wings on its back end as well, which is just great. It looks like an angel. It looks like something that would, you know, go around saving people in general. And then last here we have Zero Soul. Now Zero Soul is a dark type, and it's a catastrophe Pokemon. It evolves from Absol with the lowest happiness, or, you know, just zero happiness, I guess. And this Pokemon evolved when, as an Absol, it was rejected and favored by humans. In response to those feelings of hate, it developed a grudge on mankind. Now, filled with anger and sorrow, the dark energy that stems from it creates all kinds of disasters everywhere it passes by. Now again, the design of this is great, you know, it's a lot more like a devil Pokemon. Black wings, you know, sort of, I don't know how to explain it, it looks really cool. And I can imagine if these Pokemon existed in the anime having, you know, an Archosaur, Zero Soul battle off, you know, sort of, both of them battling, Zero Soul making the catastrophes, Archosaur sort of like solving them, I guess you could say. That'd be really, you know, really good pair up, and obviously there's Absol as well, you know, running around. And obviously Ash would get there with Pikachu and try and stop it as usual. You know, I'm thinking too much into this, but yeah, again, I'd like to see this in the game, build on Absol a bit more with stuff like this. So guys, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. In the next episode, as I said, we're going to look at more of these fan-made evolutions by Dark Sylvania. Check out their DeviantArt down below. And yep, I will see you guys next time. Bye.